Yo. Okay, so check it out. Look, the U.S. government, or President Biden, issued an executive order, not regulation on crypto. He just told all the departments of the government, yo, look at this thing. Put together a task force with the relevant departments and focus on looking at crypto. What the hell is it? How do we, control it? How do we get our tax from it? And what's the impact of this thing overall on the economy, the global economy, the future of America, etc., 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 etc. That's all that he did. All right, let's say they come out with the worst, most draconian law around Bitcoin, just a blanket ban. Ban it! We're done! I'm done with Bitcoin, bro! I'm done with it! I don't want anything to do with it anymore! Get it out of my face! All right, let's say they do that. You know what happens? That takes effect maybe in a year. You know what I'm saying? Maybe in a year that really, actually policy, the institution that is the United States government at all levels, federal, state, and local, move at an agonizing slowness. Okay, at an agonizing slowness. Okay? And so, maybe a year after they bark that order, it might come into effect. Maybe a year. Maybe they do it a little sooner. Maybe they do it a little slower. But in any case, that does not, it's not a prerequisite to you, panic selling and dumping your entire portfolio because the U.S. government is going to put regulation on it. People who don't understand Bitcoin and crypto, they think that, the ball is in the U.S. government's court and that, Bitcoin better watch out. You better watch out, you guys, because they're coming to regulate. You better watch out, all right? It's going to be bad. This is how they look at it, right? But when you understand Bitcoin and what it is, and you understand the absolute fact that they nor anyone can actually control it. No one can control it. No one, not even the government, not even the government's armies. No, you can't shoot at Bitcoin. You know what I mean? You can't control it. It's not that Bitcoin is in the valley of decision, in the shadow of the government. No. If you've been looking at it like that, you've been looking at it incorrectly. It's a perspective, but it's not a true perspective of what's actually happening here. Okay? You're not looking at it in the way that you probably should be looking at it. What's actually happening, what's legit, the real scenario, is that the United States government is in the valley of decision, in the shadow of Bitcoin. And I know it's so hard for people to fathom that. It's so difficult for people to wrap their head around, that concept. What do you mean? It's the United States government's biggest, most powerful military in the world. Dude, if they could snuff out Bitcoin, they would do it. They would have done it 3 years ago, 5 years ago. They would have done it. When I got into it, that's when they would have done it. That was the last, the last scenario where, the attributes of crypto at the time were in such a way that, a concerted effort by multiple powerful governments to attack Bitcoin and crypto, it would have worked. It would have worked back then. At this point in time, though, it's just way too late. It's way too late. You know what I mean? You can't stop it, bro. It's a piece of code on the internet. They can't ban it. Oh, somebody has a little estate over there. I didn't know that. You can't ban it. You can't do nothing about it. You can't knock on Bitcoin's headquarters and say, "Oh, I'm issuing you a subpoena. You have to show up in court and stand for your crimes of creating a new coin and a payment system that's all encompassed within itself." You know what I mean? Like, it's not a thing, dude. It's not a thing. As much as they would like to, as much as feelings are involved, according to our feelings, we want Bitcoin dead. They want to do that. Can't do it, my friend. Can't do it, my friend. You can't kill it. What you can do, here's what the US government can do. This is what they could do. They can stifle innovation within the borders of the United States. And so now that innovation flees to other countries which are more conducive to crypto. Okay? That's what they could do. They could make it so that citizens cannot buy crypto anymore. Citizens of the US can't buy crypto anymore. Well, Teddy, if they do that, then that's it. It's over. It's done for Bitcoin. No, it's not done for Bitcoin. The rest of the world will still have Bitcoin. I will still have my Bitcoin. I promise you, I will still have it. Straight up. But you, if you don't have any already, won't be able to get any Bitcoin. And as the world begins to slowly, with an agonizing slowness, adopt the new, the better, the more advanced, the more secure currency, you, who don't have any, if you don't, are stuck with the worse, the slower, the less secure, the less advanced currency, the US dollar. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. That's the worst case scenario, blanket ban. Innovation leaves. They're no longer US-based exchanges. There are no longer, none of that, all that is gone. No longer US-based anything crypto. Sucks for US citizens. The rest of the world will party on, dude. That's it. And look, okay, so you get to that point, right? Let me make things a little bit more realer for you, okay? Automatic AK-47s are banned. Hand grenades are banned. You know what I'm saying? Cocaine is banned. Heroin is banned. In some states still, weed is banned. You know what I'm saying? What else, man? I don't think I can have a katana, a real one, that with a sharp blade. I think that's banned. What else, man? What else? Different color headlights on your car are banned. You know what I'm saying? And all of these things are still present in our country. It's all here. Along with the what's it called? Spacious skies and amber waves of grain, there's bricks of coke and heroin. You know what I mean? And there's pounds of meth, and they're here. You know what I mean? Child porn is an internet crime. It's a crime on a lot of levels, really. You know what I mean? And it's a major crime. And it is a crime that exists on the internet mainly. I think today, probably, exists on the internet. Can they stop it though? People are still getting caught with child porn on their computers and stuff, and accessing it and doing all that stuff. You know what I mean? They can't stop that. Do you think they could stop crypto, bruh? You think they can stop crypto? Bruh, check this out, bruh. They can't even stop me from downloading like a Rihanna song that's not out yet, that hasn't been officially released. And you think they could stop crypto? Come on, man. You gotta put your thinking cap on, okay? They literally just can't do anything about it. They would love to. I'm not saying that they don't want to. They would love to do everything about it and destroy it and snuff it out. It is literally, financially, it's the only haven that you have. You know what I mean? Financially. You want to store your wealth, it's only in crypto. Is the price volatile? Sure it is. But it goes up. It goes down. It goes up. It goes up, it goes down. But then it goes up again. You know what I mean? That's just how Bitcoin works. The reason why it happens is because it's new technology for money. For money. Like, do you think that people would just want to have the rotary phone at home and, talk on a landline and just not have a cell phone? You think the vast majority of people, if they had a choice between, I just have a phone at home or I have a phone that is on the go, you think they would choose the phone that's at home? You think they would do that? They would go with the lesser technology and run it like that? Do you think they would do that? Or do you think, maybe, possibly, they would adopt the new technology that makes things more convenient, that makes things more, convenient is really the word for it, but, it's more, there's more freedom in it. There's more choice. You know what I mean? And then, just from making the switch, like when cell phones dropped, you could only make calls on them. Then they added texts. Then there was picture messaging. And then there was voice, where you could just like record voice and send voice over. Now, I could do everything on the phone. You know what I mean? Like I could do my taxes on the phone. I could edit video on the phone. I could stream and broadcast, and everything's on the phone. This is the same thing as like, I want you to, if you're not in crypto, right, if you don't understand, like, I want you to get it through your head. This is the same thing that crypto is, but with money. Okay? This is the same thing. It's just instead of with phones, instead of with mail, you know what I mean? It's with money, though. It's with money. Boom. This is why it's going to win. New technology has never lost. In history, throughout history, new technology has never lost. Maybe it had periods of less adoption than more adoption, but it has never lost. It has always taken over adoption and won. You know what I'm saying? If left unfettered, if the legacy system doesn't use an unfair tactic or advantage to snuff it out. Which, man, I'd love to see, at this point in time, I'd love to see any government, all the governments around the world, work together to try to snuff it out. Good luck. Good luck. Do you think people like, all right, look, if you're investing in Bitcoin, let's say you've been investing for like 2-3 years, and because your money's in it, you study it. And in studying it, as a byproduct of studying it, you gain a pretty comprehensive knowledge of the way our current, system works. You know what I'm saying? Our current, so like you might want to become a crypto expert, and as a byproduct of becoming a crypto expert, you get a really, really good understanding of the legacy financial system, right? You really understand how things work. And in your pursuit to understand crypto, you gain the understanding of the current legacy system. And as a conclusion of understanding the current legacy system, you realize, wow, this current legacy system, this current legacy financial system is, how can I put it, is vastly rudimentary and, man, what's the word I'm looking for? It's primitive. It's primitive AF. You know what I'm saying? That's what you come to. You come to the realization like, wow, this is not working in a way that logically you'd think it should work. It's working in the opposite kind of way. And then you realize, it's working that way because there's people who benefit from it working in that capacity. And so you're like, oh, okay, I see now what's going on. Okay, that makes sense, And then you're like, wow, I don't want any US dollars. That's what you come to the conclusion of. Look, if you haven't done your homework, if this is not something you've studied, you know what I mean? And you haven't really looked into this. And it takes time, dude. I've been studying crypto every day for years, for 5 years. So I'd say like by year 2, maybe, of every day studying it, and the comparisons in crypto are always made to the current system that we have to use. In studying it, it maybe took me like a couple years to really grasp like the legacy financial system. Because at first I was like, yeah, crypto's better, but this legacy system isn't really going anywhere. And then it was like, yeah, but, using the legacy system isn't that bad. Like, it's still, it's convenient and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. And then it was like, okay, well, they're going to have to make some serious changes if they want to keep this legacy system around. And then by the end of year 2, you're like, yeah, you just don't need the legacy system. You just don't need it, bro. We just don't need it at all. You know what I mean? And so what is the U.S. government going to do? What is the U.S. government going to do? Look, if you're thinking that they're going to outright ban it, 300 banks just signed up with NYDIG, with NYDIG. I don't know if it's NYDIG or NYDIG. I think it's NYDIG, but they're in NY. So NYDIG kind of makes it. But anyway, it's a company that last year in 2020 fulfilled $25 billion worth of crypto orders, purchase orders from various institutions in America. That's NYDIG. $25 billion in purchase orders just for crypto. They've got other stuff that they work with institutions on to sell them. You know what I mean? So NYDIG just signed up 300 banks, to begin basically to be able to buy and sell crypto in branch, right? Using their banking system, using the businesses that they currently have. Dude, I know if you don't really know, it's like, oh, yeah, 300 banks can sign up. Like, who cares? These are banks, bro. Like these, Bitcoin replaces them. You feel me? Crypto replaces them. At best, the position that they can find, at best, is they can work the toll booth as people exit the bank and go to crypto. Once I buy Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever, I hold it in my wallet, right? And when I buy it and I hold it in my wallet, I don't need a bank anymore. It's in my wallet now. I decide when to access it, when not to access it, when to send it to somebody, when to receive it. I decide. You know what I'm saying? That's now my choice. What do I need a bank for? Is the bank more secure than my own Bitcoin wallet? It isn't. Actually, it's not more secure. Banks get hacked all the time. Identity gets stolen all the time. You think hackers won't be able to steal your private key at a bank if it's held at a bank? They sure will. It's only a matter of time. You know what I'm saying? And so, at best, these banks in America can be the toll booth. And as you exit the bank to go to crypto, if you decide to use them, they'll make a fee. If you decide to custody with them, I think you're making a big mistake. I think you're opening up the liability of the banks using fractional reserve lending on your funds to compromise whether or not they can pay you back. Because unlike the legacy financial system, when the bank makes a boo-boo, they can't just print some at the big daddy bank, Federal Reserve, and give it to make up for the loss. They can't do that. With Bitcoin, you can't just print the Bitcoin. You have to buy it or you have to mine it, and you can't control how much is mined. And like the million people are arguing over who's mining what. You know what I mean? So, it doesn't make sense for you to keep it there. But either way, they're going to offer those services. Now, for something that would replace them, bro, this is like the the horse and buggy dealership. Like all of a sudden signing up to start selling cars, like getting the license to start selling cars. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like or the permit or whatever you need. I don't know. Whatever you need to be at the car dealership. Like this is what that is. The car puts the horse and buggy out of business if you're not getting it. The car puts the horse and buggy out of business. All right. And the horse and buggy business is like, hey, maybe we should sell cars, man. You know what I mean? Maybe we should start selling cars, dude. All right, yeah, I think I'm going to start selling some cars at my horse and buggy business. Yeah, make some little extra money. You know what I mean? Eventually, like, how many horse and buggy businesses do you know that are alive today? It's like a novelty thing. Maybe there's a couple in Pennsylvania where the Amish live. Other than that, I don't know. I don't know where they're at. And this is the thing, man. Like, everybody gets so scared. They get so scared of the U.S. government and regulation. Look, they can't ban it because they need to squeeze off of it in order to get some juice. But they also, to be fair, you know, it's tough for them to just let it go willy-nilly however they want, you know what I mean? Because it's going to replace their thing, man. It's going to mess up their game, you know? So what they're going to do is somewhere in between. Somewhere in between. But whatever that is, whatever they're going to do, they're going to do it in like a year or 2 years or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't think it can happen now. There's also this like notion that crypto is some kind of like it's a right-wing, conservative, libertarian type of thing. Look, I consider myself, you know, I probably lean a little libertarian. I really don't consider myself a Democrat, but I would consider myself a progressive in a lot of ways. And man, Bitcoin aligns with a lot of my values in terms of freedom, justice, and equality. It really does in many, many, many ways. And as somebody who I think has a pretty good grasp of the structural weaknesses, but also structural, how could I put it, man? How could I put it delicately, right? The structural anomalies that continue to create unfavorable conditions for the vast majority of people, right? Bitcoin has the ability to fix all that. Not necessarily fix it, but like is already a system that if we adopted a lot of the structural principles in place, we could just have a system that doesn't have all those anomalies that are not beneficial to the vast majority of people. And, you know, I think a lot more people, if they understood it, man, they'd just be on board, bro. Because it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. I mean, unless you're like Elizabeth Warren, where you're literally advocating for banks. You know what I mean? Like you're advocating for the legacy financial system. Don't think that, you know, this like advocating for the Federal Reserve is somehow saving America. It's not. The Federal Reserve is burying America. You know what I mean? Literally burying it in dollars. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who understands how this works, like you're like, yo, the Fed is really messing it up long term, it's really destroying America at this point, right? Like if we keep going like this, yeah, America's done. You know, and it doesn't seem like there's going to be any stop to it. They're not going to let the stock market crash. They're not going to let equities crash. Just the mere mention of raising interest rates dumped the S&P 11%. I mean, or 15 or 17 or something like that. I think it's down 11 today, you know what I mean, year to date. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, what are they going to do? Are they going to, you know, are they going to do what is beneficial for the American citizens, or are they going to do what's beneficial for their donors and the corporate stakeholders that elected them in the first place? You know what I'm saying? Like put them in place in the first place. I don't know, man. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what Jerome Powell is going to do. But if we look back historically at the Federal Reserve doesn't give two hoots about American citizens at all. You know what I mean? Every decision they've made so far has been a travesty across all the administrations. Doesn't matter, Democrat, Republican, Obama, Bush, didn't matter. They've always messed up and made a terrible decision for America, but a fantastic decision for the cronies, you know, that, you know, benefit from the money printing. And so, you know, anybody advocating for that, especially like Elizabeth Warren, like, come on, man, it's plain as day. Like, I see who you work for now. The Federal Reserve does not. It's mind-boggling how anybody can. If you have like an actual understanding of how this works, it's mind-boggling to think that you think that the Federal Reserve or the banks, you know, have the American people's best interests at heart. You know, any progressive worth their salt, you know what I'm saying? If you just took one real healthy, you know, look at Bitcoin, you would realize, yo, this is that thing. This is great. This is awesome for people. Third world countries around the world are already using it. The poorest of the poor are already using it in their daily lives, bro. Why? because it gets the government out of their pocket in those third world places. I'm not saying that here. I'm saying in those third world places, it gets the government out of their pocket. You know what I mean? And for them, that's very attractive. You have an extremely corrupt government that practice cronyism, you know what I mean? And, fleeces the American people's, tax money, tax dollars, in order to fund corrupt or immoral or even illegal agendas. You know what I'm saying? That's why they don't want to mess with it. Africa, Asia, South America, even Australia. You know what I mean? Among their Aborigines. You know what I'm saying? Yo, like, wake up, dude. Who are you? I don't know, man. Now I'm getting into some other stuff. But anyway, it's my 2 cents, all right? You know what I mean? That's my 2 cents. Look, if you really don't know about Bitcoin, you just need to learn. Don't say no to something that you don't even know, like, what it is. You know what I mean? Or you listened to some microphone on TV, a talking head, yap for 93 seconds, because that's all the time they had allotted for it, you know what I mean, on the program, and to give you a little soundbite that you thought was a dunk, when it was a dunk on yourself. You know what I mean? Don't let all that happen, all right? Like, literally, don't be an intellectual coward, and don't be intellectually lazy. This train is gonna leave without you. With or without you. You could be on it, or you could be off it. You could get on now, or you could get on later. You know what I mean? And it's not about just getting rich, dude. We're exiting. We're exiting. You know what I'm saying? Attaining wealth. Bro, if you grew up a poor minority, and you saw a vehicle, in America of all places, and you saw a vehicle that allowed you to change the trajectory of your family's finances and gave you a shot at financial mobility, you would take it, bro. You would take it. Don't knock somebody for taking that. You know what I mean? In a way that also adopts a new, entirely, different and egalitarian system of finance. Stop. Get out my face with that. You know what I mean? Some people they want to greed shame, you know what I mean? People who are making money in crypto or trying to get rich in crypto, and like, what did you want people to just stay poor? What are you talking about? You know what I mean? So anyway, all right, I'm done with my rant, bro. I ranted long enough, but let's see what they do. Let's see the move that America, the American government, makes in the financial valley of decision, in the shadow of Bitcoin. What will they do? What, pray tell, will they do? Either way, I'm good. Whatever decision they decide to make, I'm solid. I'm straight. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's my 2 cents, man. Sorry, I was like all over the place a little bit. Maybe I got a little passionate there, okay? But, tried to get the point across. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't know, okay? Holla at me, drop something in the comments, and, I love you. I love you. That's why I do this. I don't got to do this. I just keep my coin and keep my mouth shut. You know what I mean? But I make these videos because I love you. I want to see us all win, no matter what side of the aisle you on, no matter what spectrum of humanity you're on. I want you to win. I want you to win in a way that all of us win. You know what I'm saying? If you win, we all win. You know what I mean? And I hope everything works out for you. I hope your family's safe. I hope you're safe. I hope you're in the best of health and spirits. And I thank you for taking the time out to listen to what I got to say, man. I appreciate that. I love you. Be safe. Peace.